Greetings everyone and welcome back to the channel. This is going to be a channel reading for the collective with no cards today. I don't have any cards with me, so I'm just going to be giving a channeled message from the downloads I'm receiving. So take it how it resonates and don't force anything to fit, of course. But I don't know. I guess, what I want to start off with is this is not going to be for everybody, or this is not going to resonate with everybody, all right? This is not going to be for everybody, right? So here's the thing. I did a reading yesterday about someone stalking you. I also did a reading about how the ancestors and the spirit guides and the archangels are gearing up for war, and how they are about to pretty much get in their chariots and come handle business, right? But it seems like there's a deeper meaning to that. Especially with the reading about the Stalker Energy. Yeah, for some of you, there is an actual physical person that's stalking your energy, that's stalking you, perhaps. But there's also a sense of someone being stalked by your ancestors, which means, for example, if someone is harassing you, right, just in the 3D sense, if somebody is harassing you, right, you can go to the authorities, you can get a restraining order, you can go to the police officers and get some, some help if you need it, or whatever the case may be. So in the spirit world, right, if someone is stalking you, spiritually stalking you, or harassing you, spiritually harassing you, doing whatever they want to do, right, there is a way that you can go to the authorities and ask for protection, okay? And when you go to God and you say, there's a person or people are stalking me, people are harassing me, people are attacking me, people won't just leave me alone, I need some help to protect myself. When you pray a prayer like that out loud to the Most High, and He favors you and sees that you are not the one that's bothering anyone, or you don't deserve to be bothered by somebody like that, and they're just doing this to you because you don't have any protection around you. So the message also says, from that Stalker reading I did, is also about your spirit guides are protecting you, right? Some of y'all done prayed out to God and asked God for help, and God heard your prayers. So He is going to be sending you some type of help to help you feel safe, okay, to help you really to protect you from anybody who's trying to hurt you, especially when it comes to dark magic and doing things like that, right? So with the spiritual protection, the order that has been sent out for your protection in the spirit world has been received. So if there's anyone that is still like doing spiritual work on you, bullying you in the spirit world, or trying to bully you in the spirit, intrusive thoughts, things like that, or negative thoughts, if that's happening to you and you know that it's being done to you because of who you are, okay, just know that if you cried out for protection or for God's help, He heard your prayers and He will answer the call. He is going to send in support, people to help support you or protect you from what's going on around you, all right, things you can't see. So don't be afraid when the messages are talking about someone stalking you. It could be physically somebody stalking you, and with that you just want to go to the authorities, get somebody involved, let somebody know, up your security, get you some weapons, protection, whatever you need to do in the physical sense. But when it comes to the spiritual side of it, you don't have to. The only thing you need to do to spiritually protect yourself from outside forces is to pray to God for help and tell God what it is you need Him to do, and He'll dispatch the right people to your location, and you'll have that spiritual protection around you. All right, for some of you, you need to do like a spiritual cleanse. You need to fast, and you need to pray. You need to empty your vessels, get rid of any toxic energy that you may be holding on to, whatever the case may be. But when you go to God and you petition Him and He receives your prayer, in order for Him to really successfully protect you or keep you safe in a hostile environment, you have to be able to be identified from the hostages. So it's like, remember when Moses went to Pharaoh Well, before that, okay, let's talk about the Passover a little bit. So, when the Most High sent the death angel to Egypt to destroy every person's firstborn child, he told the Israelites to mark their door with the blood of the lamb so that the angel that came for their lives would not take their children as well. So they had to be identified by the death angel as the chosen people, so that the death angel wouldn't kill their offborn, their firstborn either. You see what I'm saying? So if your house is not marked, or if the death angel can't tell you from them or them from you, you may receive the same karma. You see what I'm saying? They receive. Whatever happens to them will happen to you. That also means if you're still connected to someone that has been marked for death, let's just say, and you're still connected to that person, if they've been marked for death, then so have you. So when the death angel comes for you, he's not coming for you, but if you're still in the darkness or you still are connected to somebody who is, then you're going to receive the same judgment. So you have to detach from those negative energies. You have to cleanse your temple. You have to fast and you have to pray. You have to make sure that you are in the right energy when this angel comes in. Because this angel just has an order to take the souls that are lost or the people that are in the dark, whatever the case may be. That's what they're... So the reason why the death angel came to Egypt to take the firstborn of Pharaoh's kids was because Pharaoh's kids killed the firstborn of the Israelites' kids when they were born, because he was trying to find that one person that was chosen to lead the people. So because he didn't know who that person was or who was going to give birth to that child, he sent his soldiers out to kill anyone with a child over 2 or under 2, especially if it was a male. So Moses was saved from that because his mother wrapped him up in some clothes like blankets and put him in the river and sent him downstream so that somebody could save him from the wrath of God or the wrath of Pharaoh, right? So their child wouldn't be killed, because Moses was chosen by God to lead his people into the wilderness, right? So if Moses was still in the same village where the other kids were being, murdered or whatever, then he would have been one of the kids that would have gotten murdered, and he wouldn't have been able to fulfill his purpose, which was to serve God in a sense, right? So if the angels can identify who you are in the spirit, or if they see that you have dark attachments to you as well, then that could affect you in a negative way. So it's like, you want to just make sure that you're right with God when the time comes. You don't want to get caught in the wrath of God, or when the time comes and you're in the middle of a situation still dealing with some things you should be leaving, or have, dealing with things you shouldn't be dealing with, or doing things you shouldn't be doing. That could be whatever. Then, what's to be, an eagle just flew across me in these trees I'm looking at, but and that's that death angel coming in, soaring in like an angel. Like, it's going to have wings, it's going to be swift, it's going to be sudden, it's not going to be anything you can do about it when it comes in. If you're not marked and you're not protected and you don't have that covering, if you're not covered by the blood, or if you're not from a certain bloodline as well, because Moses came from a certain bloodline. So his bloodline was protected. Any child born within that family bloodline had divine protection. So if you're not from the father's bloodline, or if you're not a part of that royal bloodline, if you are a part of that royal bloodline, then you're already protected. You see what I'm saying? You'll be protected. But if you're like an outsider, you know what I'm saying, and you're not a part of the family, or you're not a part of the bloodline, and you want to get in, then you can get in, but you have to adjust to the way of the people. You have to do what the people of that family bloodline do. So for example, Moses and the Israelites, they prayed to the Most High. They worshiped the Sabbath. They did things according to their beliefs. The pharaohs and his people had their own beliefs. They did things their own way. So they were separate from God. So when the plagues affected them, it didn't affect the children of Israel. You see what I'm saying? They were not affected by those plagues. They were under divine protection. So in order for you to have that divine protection, you have to be covered by the blood or from the bloodline of the chosen ones, and you have to have knowledge of yourself in a sense. So, the stalking energy, people thinking that, it's not a one-sided message. It goes both ways. What happens above happens below. So if it's happening here, it's happening there as well. So if there's a person in your physical life that's harassing you, that's causing you problems, whatever the case may be, then you need to go to the authorities, get yourself some help, get you a restraining order, whatever you need to do to protect yourself, okay? And it works the same way in the spirit world. You have to do whatever you have to do to protect yourself, okay? In both ways, okay? So, I just kind of want to bring that out because it feels like, that goes with that message. But sometimes when you channel the energy, at least for me, when I channel certain energies, I get more downloads about it after I've already like recorded a message or got the first download. So it kind of comes in it comes in after the fact. You know what I'm saying? I don't get these downloads during the reading sometimes. I get them after the fact. So there's that. But yeah, it's time to clean house. It's time to get yourself together. It's time to get right with God. It's time to face your fears. It's time to stop letting people, get away with stuff. And it's time for you to stop allowing people to I'm hearing you have to stop letting people shake your faith. If the Israelites always held on to their belief, they never said there wasn't a God. They never conformed to worship the gods of Egypt. Moses was raised by them and he learned their ways, but once he realized who he was, he stopped worshiping their gods. He stopped doing what they did, okay? And he went back to his natural habitat. He went back to the place where he was from. So if you get off your spiritual path, or if you find yourself doing other things outside of God or outside of yourself, and you lose the connection you had, you can always get it back. It's never too late to connect to God. It's never too late to enlighten yourself, okay? It's never too late for you to turn back, okay? But if you know what I'm saying, don't turn back, and your time comes up, your number is punched in a sense. Like once you have been marked for death, you can't be unmarked for death. Like once the order has been given, the order must be carried out. You see what I'm saying? So, once you put a protection order out for someone, the order has been out. Like they have to do what the order says to do, stay away from you, whatever the case may be. So once the order goes out in the spirit world, it goes out. It's done. It just has to happen now. It's just a matter of when it's going to happen. So a lot of people have already sealed their fate. A lot of people have already strayed away from their spiritual path or turned away from God and lost themselves in the world, and they don't want to get out. They want to stay in that place. You know what I'm saying? And those people are people that you may love and care about, but at the end of the day, when it comes to your salvation and your standing with God, those people can't put you or take you from, like, they don't have a heaven or hell to put you in. Only God can judge your soul. Nobody else can place you where you're supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? Nobody can take away what's meant for you. And losing people and having to like disassociate from certain people, or you know what I'm saying, put some distance between you and certain people is not always easy to do. But when you understand what's at stake and what it means for you, then you realize that the only option you really have in a situation like that is to honor yourself, and honor the Most High. Because you only can serve one master. You can't serve them both. You can't be hot and cold. You got to be, you can't be hot and cold or lukewarm. Let me say it right. It's either you're hot or you're cold. There is no lukewarm. If you're cold, then you're cold. And if you're hot, then you're hot. You see what I'm saying? So there's not a place in the middle. There's not a middle ground. It's either you're here or you're there or you're not. And if you're not, that's okay. But don't expect to get what the person who is here is going to get, or don't be mad when they get what they're supposed to get and you don't. You know what I'm saying? Because the opportunity is available to anyone that wants to accept the offer. God offered his love to the world. He doesn't say, just because you're not of my bloodline, that I can't love you too. He doesn't say that. Even when Cain killed Abel, or when they made their offering, their first offering to the Most High, one brother gave an offering that was a sacrifice, and the other brother gave an offering that he got out of the ground. Like he didn't give a good offering. But God said, if you do well, will I not bless you too? So it's not like God doesn't want to save everybody, because if it was his choice to save everybody, then he would. But it's not his choice to save everybody. People that want to be saved got to choose to save themselves. And if they choose not to, then they pretty much sealed their fate. Okay? And it's also important that you guys really try to get grounded, go outside in nature, really connect with Source, God, whoever you call him to be, them to be. Just know that that connection is very vital to your survival, because it's like with the avatars, they're able to connect to nature, and they can feel the energy of another animal, tree, plant, whatever, and they can get resources from that information, or they can get information from that resource that'll help save them. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you're connected to everything that God created, you're connected to. So you need to be connected to everything that God created to feel the connection between you and God, okay? Or you and your higher self. I'm sorry, I got the camera toward the trash can. I was just... Anything else? Again, I'm not trying to take away from anyone that's really going through a situation where you may feel someone is stalking you. That could be the case for some of you guys. So, that part was still that part, but this is something more to add to it, okay? Because everybody ain't being stalked by an ex-lover. Everybody ain't being stalked by a neighbor. Everybody ain't being stalked, period. You see what I'm saying? But in the sense of the spirit world, and you are being stalked in the spirit, not everybody has a stalker in the spirit, I want to say. We all get stalked in the spirit realm. We all have people in the spiritual realm trying to cause us harm, you know what I'm saying, or harm us. That means we all have certain dreams, nightmares, and visions of people in the dream state trying to do things to us. That's a spiritual attack. That's an attack on your psyche. That's going against the rules. You're not supposed to try to attack somebody in the spirit realm when they are asleep. You know what I'm saying? That's like breaking the fucking law, in a sense, universal law. But anyway, I digress. But yeah, that's what I have. Again, this was a no card channel reading. I just wanted to drop a couple of nuggets in this message, or give a little bit of insight rather, and kind of broaden the horizon a little bit, because everything doesn't pertain to a physical situation or personal situation. It can be also 5D as well. Like it doesn't, okay, so again, what happens here happens there. What happens there happens here. If there's physical warfare in your life, then there's a spiritual warfare going on somewhere else. Okay? So they kind of go hand in hand. So if you're physically being stalked by somebody, it's a strong possibility you're being spiritually stalked as well. Because somebody has to send out that energy. Whoever is trying to stalk you or stalking you in the physical sense, they were sent by somebody to do that. Something within them makes them feel that's okay. So spiritually speaking, a spirit or a demon has possessed a person's mind or body and told this person that it's okay to stalk you, or made them feel okay to stalk you. So it's all connected. You see what I'm saying? So even physically, somebody stalking you is still spiritually connected, because they were sent by somebody, or something within them is making them stalk you this way. You know what I'm saying? So it's all connected. But let's see, is there anything else? I'm hearing something about elders of a church. The elders of the church. Some of y'all need to go to maybe the elders around you, like grandparents if they're still living, or older relatives. And also some of y'all, your older relatives, grandparents, aunts and uncles, things of that nature. They're showing me people sitting on a throne. I see 4 people on a throne. I see one generation of older people, like a grandmother, grandfather, and then there's another masculine, feminine energy on a throne as well. So it gives me, it looks like that these are family members or people in your family. They're all connected. So something could have been passed down from your grandparents to your parents and then to you. This is either a generational blessing or a generational curse. The generational curses have been passed down from bloodline to bloodline to bloodline in somebody's family. There was a generational curse on Moses' family in a sense, because everybody in his generation was being killed off except for him. So he was the only one that was saved from his family bloodline. You see what I'm saying? He was the only one that could really, I heard that was the only one that could be saved. He was the only one that was saved. Everybody else was taken away. You know what I'm saying? All the other kids were killed. He was the only one that was saved. It's because of his family bloodline. Again, it's got something to do with your family bloodline. If you come from a royal family bloodline, then you have to be the one to make it through. You see what I'm saying? You're going to be the one that's going to make it through this. But there's other people in your family that may not. And just because you lose some doesn't mean you're going to lose them all. I'm sorry. Some of you have lost some people in your family. But those people that you lost, they're kind of still with you. They kind of sit they sit in high places. It's like they still are with you in the spirit. They haven't left you. So you're still connected to those people you already lost. And spiritually speaking, you guys are still connected. You know what I'm saying? So you may have lost a family member and you may feel the absence of that person in the physical sense, but in the spiritual sense, you guys are still connected to each other because you come from the same family bloodline, all right? So there's going to always be a connection between you and those people or that person, okay? So somebody could have lost both parents and their grandparents, but they're still connected to you, okay? Like the bloodline didn't stop with them. Like you're carrying on the legacy. You're still a part of the family bloodline, so you're going to be able to carry on the legacy of them. Or you're the, it's like you've been given this torch to carry for them, okay? They're giving you their torch, the Ace of Wands, to carry it for them. So when one person's torch burns out, the next person carries the torch for the whole family. So you're lighting the way for everyone in your family, something like that, okay? I think that's it, I guess. Yeah, I'm going to leave it with that. I don't know, take it how it resonates. I just didn't want to, put fear in anyone about being stalked by someone, because there's ways you can protect yourself if you are. And if you are being stalked by someone and you are spiritually selected or chosen, you also are being protected. And if you don't feel like you have any spiritual protection right now, go to your spirit guides, pray to God for help, and he will send you the help that you need, all right? I thank you for watching, you guys. Love and light to you all. Namaste.